Hospitals during wartime were places of chaos. The air was thick with the smell of blood and antiseptic, the corridors filled with groans and cries, the endless march of stretchers carrying men broken by battle. Death stalked every corner. Doctors worked until their hands trembled, surgeons collapsed beside their tables, and nurses fought to keep hope alive when everything seemed lost. Among them was a woman named Clara Lewis, a nurse whose resolve would become legend. She had joined the front not for glory or recognition, but because she could not bear to stay home while others suffered. From the moment she set foot in the makeshift hospital, she was swallowed by a storm of suffering rows of cots crammed together. Soldiers missing limbs, eyes wide with fear, bodies clinging desperately to life. Clara was not extraordinary by appearance, small, pale, hair tied back hastily, but her presence carried a strange force. She never raised her voice, never faltered, never looked away, no matter how gruesome the wound. Where others saw hopelessness, she saw a challenge. Where others gave up, she pressed on. One night, the hospital came under bombardment. Shells whistled overhead, explosions rocked the walls, glass shattered onto the floor. Panic spread through the wounded. Doctors scrambled to evacuate, shouting orders drowned out by the roar of war. But Clara did not run. She moved from cot to cot, covering the soldiers with blankets, whispering calm into their ears. When flames erupted in one wing, Clara wrapped her scarf around her face and rushed straight into the smoke. She dragged men twice her size across the floor, coughing and choking, refusing to leave anyone behind. Twice she collapsed, overcome by fumes, but each time she rose again, driven by a force stronger than fear. By dawn, the fire was extinguished, and dozens of lives had been saved because one nurse refused to abandon them. Her bravery became known among soldiers. Men who had lost all hope clung to survival when they saw her face. "If Clara believes I can live," they whispered, "then I will fight to live." She stitched wounds with trembling hands that never stopped, and in the darkest nights, when despair filled the air, she sang softly to the dying so that no man would leave the world in silence. But what set Clara apart was not only her courage under fire, it was her defiance of death itself. When doctors pronounced a soldier beyond saving, she refused to accept it. She devised new methods, improvised treatments, and stayed awake for days to monitor a single fragile heartbeat. Time and again, she brought men back who had been written off as lost. After the war, Clara did not retire into comfort. Instead, she fought to reform hospitals, demanding better care for veterans, cleaner facilities, and training for nurses who were too often dismissed as secondary to doctors. She knew from experience that a nurse's hands could mean the difference between life and death.